a healthy manager leads the experience of their team if a new policy or process is in a place. In the same way, when you impose a new system in your own life, you must give yourself enough chances to fail. You should not abuse yourself. Give yourself positive feedback and ways in which what can be improved, and make sure that it is immediate. In the initial days, there are not a lot of outcomes and efforts which we want to achieve. So I think thanking yourself when you're just trying to implement a new change is very important. Yo guys, namaskaram. So, Debukidastak is a platform where we talk on mental health and a lot of other sensitive issues, right? So, basically, the entire aim of this channel is to build a community around sensitive issues and make people feel comfortable about themselves. So, basically, if you're new here, consider subscribing. Our mission is to empower you with ideas to live smartly and joyfully. The world is full of suffering, but let us increase our competence to deal with things joyfully. And just a tip, so all these are basically conversations, so I might suggest that you should watch these conversations at 1.5x. You can increase the playback speed through the button in the settings. Cheers and enjoy watching. Yo guys, namaskaram. So today I wanted to talk about this concept of motivation from a different perspective. Now, on the hindsight, I know you might say, oh, I put up motivational speaker tags in my descriptions or those kind of things. Call it a game of marketing which I have to play to make my message reach out to as many people as I can. But today I just want to talk about motivation from a different lens. So, what I feel that motivation isn't about exciting people or making them or keeping them excited all the time. It's about reminding people of what needs to be done, what matters at the right time with a proper context, or let's say with the right context. So, to take an example of a company, a healthy manager leads the experience of their team if a new policy or process is in a place. In the same way, when you impose a new system in your own life, you must give yourself enough chances to fail. You should not abuse yourself. Give yourself positive feedback and ways in which what can be improved, and make sure that it is immediate. In the initial days, there are not a lot of outcomes and efforts which we want to achieve. So I think thanking yourself when you're just trying to implement a new change is very important, because you're battling your evolutionary genetics, your evolutionary learning, the learning from your immediate environment, just challenging all those old rotten beliefs to implement this new change. So, if you thank yourself, I think it gives your inner child a feeling of being seen and being heard, instead of you always critiquing the hell out of your inner child and just killing him or her in the process. So, I think your feedback must be very immediate and must be empathetic towards your own self, because this is a thing that if you only reward outcomes, you would try to cheat and rig the entire process, defeating the new change objectives, or why it was implemented in the first place. So let's say you skip gym once and do the exact same number of reps on the next day, so it would be double the performance, right? It would make no difference once in a while, since on the outcomes you have totally performed. But if it becomes a consistent habit that some days you miss out and some days you put on the excess weights or excess number of reps to make up for it, it entirely defeats the purpose of pursuing that thing in the first place. You would have gotten into that zone of intensity beating consistency. It would not transform you. A lot of times you might have heard that it consistency is what beats one day intense efforts. So that's the point which I want to make across, that like you know just focusing on what can be optimized in the process again and again really helps you to go a long way and makes you more consistent. So if you only reward efforts, you would start doing things that signal others how much effort you're putting in, and blame the lack of an outcome on external factors. I've seen a lot of people in my own life I've observed a lot of people, generally speaking, that if they are unable to achieve anything, they blame external factors like crazy. This thing is fucked up, that thing is fucked up, this is fucked up. Like, they don't want to take responsibility of being a failure, because then that would make them accountable. So, what this does, I think you also create an illusion of busyness to fool yourself and the world around you, so that you can get their pat on your back. So, Richard Feynman says this, that the easiest person to fool yourself is you. So, if you're demotivated by seeing no progress initially, instead of seeking help from others, become your own friend and be self reliant. You should have the goal of becoming the most self reliable person you can be on your own without depending on any person for that matter. Don't look for others to blame for your failed life. Take full responsibility for your failures and own your bloody outcomes in life. Motivation is temporary. Don't look for motivators in life. Find people who genuinely inspire you from the core by speaking the truth which you don't want to hear, because that's the only way you would get transformed. If you are seeking poison consciously in life, like, that would turn out to be the greatest nectar in your life. So, I would like to leave you with this quote, that do you want to live your life always being trapped by the so called motivators who are just opportunists and narcissists who sell you the drug of motivation? Or do you want to work so dedicatedly on your craft that you need no one in your life, and in the process you become a genuine self reliant person? So, in crux, I think, in hindsight, if we look, like, don't look for motivators, become your own motivator. Like, motivation is just needed at the start of a thing. What would drive you through that change is your own process, your own system which you have created. Like, you would waste your time having this feeling of feel good. Like, these motivators, these narcissists, they always tend to sell you this feeling of feel good. But if you, like, look at it objectively, like, from a third lens, you would see that that is their business model. They just want to make you feel good about yourself, because you hardly ever feel good about your own self. You have never become your own friend in life. So yeah, let me know what you feel about it. This is just a small insights video, and I would love to hear your feedback and perspective on it. And this is Debashish Pindra from Debukidastak signing off. Cheers. Just a couple of updates. So my website is live now. So you can go to www.debukidastak.com. There you'll find a lot of resources. I have my blog running there. I have my reading list for the years. If you have any suggestions, comments, I'll be happy to take that feedback in and improve, because I just want to build a community which is hell smart and just always living in the world of ideas and making things happen.